Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. War. If you're new, my name is Dr. War, and I make videos for the Tasc mathematics test. If you like the content, please subscribe, like the videos, and also comment. Today's video is from a comment that I received from one of my, I would say, subscribers. I hope she's a subscriber, Jennifer. Jennifer asked if I could make a video of how to find the missing angle if you're given similar triangles. Now, before we begin, we have to do some foundational work. What is a similar triangle? On the Tasc test, if they say that the triangles are similar, it means that they have the same shape. So they're both triangles. However, they're not the same size. So you will have one triangle being bigger than the other. So my triangle for ABC is my big triangle, and notice the triangle PQR is the small triangle. So that's all it is for similar triangles. They have the same shape, but they're not necessarily the same size. One will be bigger than the other. Now the angles inside of your triangle will be corresponding. And when I say the word corresponding, it means that they're equal. So angle Y in the big triangle would be the same value for angle Y in the smaller triangle. Angle Z in the big triangle will be the same value for angle Z in the small triangle, and so forth for X. Now in this episode, I'm not going to be finding the sides of the triangle because I've already done a video on how to find corresponding sides, and I will link that video at the end. In this episode, I'm just going to be showing you how to find the missing angle. All the angles within a triangle sum to 180 degrees. So if I add angle X, angle Y, and angle Z, they would total 180 degrees. Now, sometimes students say, well, how do you know that? I like when they ask me that question. Now, one of the things you must know about a triangle is that a triangle is actually half of a rectangle or square. So I have a rectangle here, and let's cut it in half. If I cut it in half, I'm going to get two triangles. Now, with a rectangle, all the angles are 90 degrees. So this is 90, and over here is also 90. Down here is 90, and here's 90. Because they're making these corners right here. That's 90 degrees. So in a rectangle, if we sum all the angles, where we're adding 94 times, that would give me a value of 360 degrees. Now remember, I just said that a triangle is half a rectangle. So my next step would be, if I half 360, what do I get? 180 degrees. So that's where the 180 came from. So always remember that all the angles in a triangle sum to 180. We need that specific property to help us in the following questions. So let's look at example number 1. So again, as I said, I start with the foundation, and then we're going to work up to our similar triangles. So in example 1, it states, what is the measure of angle R? So we have a triangle. We have QRS. Q is 92. S is 59 degrees, and we have to find R. Now remember what I said, all the angles in a triangle sum to 180 degrees. But I have two of the angles. So I'm going to add those together. 9 plus 2 is 11. 9 and 1 is 10, plus 5 is 15. So angle Q and angle S sum to 151. So to find R, I'm going to subtract 151 from 180. So 180, take away 151. If I borrow 1 from 10 is 9. 5 from 7 is 2. So angle R is 29 degrees. My answer is B. Remember, when you take 92 degrees, add it to 59 degrees, and then add 29 degrees, it should total 180 degrees. Remember, the Tasc test, 2 parts. One part you can use the calculator, and one part will be non-calculator. I can see this question appearing on the non-calculator because you're just doing arithmetic. So because it's a non-calculator section, notice I did the easiest way. I added 92 and 59 to get 151, and then I subtracted that from 180, and I got 29 degrees. So if this question appeared on the calculator section, I would enter 180, and I would begin to deduct the 2 angles that are given. So I would subtract 92 and then subtract 59. Enter, and notice I got 29 degrees. Example 2 is similar to example 1. Use the figure below to answer the following question. What is the measure of angle X in the figure above? Now, if you want to, you can pause the video and try this, and then press play when you're ready to see if you got the same solution as I did. So I want to find the missing angle X. Now remember, all the angles in a triangle sum to 180 degrees. So suppose this is on the non-calculator. I'm going to take 39, and I'm going to add it to the 84 degrees. 9 plus 4 is 13. 8 and we add 1 is 9, and then 3 would give me 12. So that's 123 degrees. And to find X, I'm going to deduct that from 180 degrees. I can't take 3 from 0, so I'm going to borrow. 3 from 10 is 7. 2 from 7 is 5. 1 from 1 is 0. So my answer for X is 57 degrees. So my answer is A. If this was on the calculator section, 180, and then I'll start to subtract 39, and then I'll subtract 84. 57. Now sometimes they don't give you a model, so they'll just give you a simple word problem. Example 3 states, the measure of one angle in a triangle is 40 degrees. So sometimes when they don't give you a model, you can actually draw a model. Don't laugh at my triangle, because I always say in my classes I can't draw, which is the truth. If any of my students are watching this, they can tell you I can't draw. So here's my triangle, and they say one of the angle is 40 degrees. So I'm going to make this big one here 40 degrees. The other 2 angles are congruent to each other. Now that word congruent means same. So the other 2 angles, let's call this X and Y, are the same value. What is the measure of each congruent angle? So they just gave me one angle. So I'm going to deduct the angle that is given from 180 degrees. So I'm going to subtract 40 from that. That gives me 140. Now remember, this 140 is my X and Y together. So this 140 is the sum of X and Y, which are the 2 remaining angles. But we want the measure of each angle. So what would be X and what would be Y? Now because they're congruent, meaning the same, I'm going to take 140 and I'm going to divide that by 2. Is 70 degrees. So my answer is C. So X is 70 and Y is 70. Remember, when you add all the angles in a triangle, they must sum to 180. Your answer is not 140, Because if you're saying that x is 140 and y is 140, when you add those together, that gives you 280. So 280 is greater than 180. So you know that that is incorrect, because when you add all the angles in a triangle, they should sum to 180. So 140 is not your answer choice. That 140 is the sum of the two remaining angles, x and y. So if I have to find the measure of each of them, I would have to half it, divide by 2. Now, example 4 is going to take us into the question that Jennifer asked about. So we had to do some foundational work. So Jennifer asked about, well, if you're given two similar triangles, how do you find the missing angle? So I have 4 examples of different types of questions you may see on your Tasc test. Now, this is the first one. This is simple. So if you're new to my channel, I always start out with easy, and the problems begin to get more difficult as we go down the line. Triangle EFG is similar to triangle TUV as shown below. Again, remember, similar means same shape, different sizes. So notice I have EFG and I have UTV. Now, EFG, I have all of my angles. E is 104, F is 48, and G is 28. Based on the measurements of the triangles, what is the measure of angle U? So we're trying to find U right here. Like, what is U? Now we know that when triangles are similar, the corresponding angles are equal, which means E is 104 degrees, which means T is 104 degrees. F is here and it's 48, which means U here must be 48. So my answer is C, which means V has to be 28. So remember, corresponding angles are equal. Since we knew that E equals 104 degrees, that was also the value of T. F, 48 degrees. Therefore, U would be the same value. G has a value of 28 degrees. Therefore, V would also be 28 degrees. Example 5, have triangle DEF is similar to triangle ABC. So notice ABC is my big triangle and DEF is my small triangle. Notice angle A is 40, which means that angle D is also 40 degrees. Angle B is a right angle, and right angles are 90 degrees. So whenever you see that box, it's a right angle, which means that angle E is also 90 degrees. And I don't know what C is, so I don't know what F is. And the question that is being asked is, what is the measure in degrees of angle F? So when you see this symbol here, this means angle. So we want angle F. So this means angle. So again, all the angles in a triangle sum to 180 degrees. So if we were doing this without a calculator, I would take 90, add it to 40. This is a simple addition. This would be 130 degrees. And then I would subtract that from 180. So 180 subtract 130. and that's a simple subtraction of 50 degrees. So F is 50 degrees. Again, if you were using the calculator, 180, take away 40, take away 90, 50 degrees. Now, this is the question that Jennifer asked about. It said if triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF, what must be the value of XB over here? So C is 30 degrees, which means F is 30 degrees. So notice they only gave us one angle, and we're going to work with it. All the angles sum to 180, so we're going to deduct 30 from 180. So 180 minus 30 is 150. So this 150 degrees is the sum of the two remaining angles. The sum of the two remaining angles. And we could say, which is D plus E. So D plus E is 150. Now I know I always say in geometry, don't trust the drawings, but here we're going to have to trust them. When I look at AB, they look like they're going to be the same. Okay? We have to trust the process. So these two look like they will be identical. So angle D and angle E are going to be identical. When you add D and E, it's 150. So if I just want D, we're going to divide by 2. And 150 divided by 2 is 75 degrees. Angle X will be 75, which means angle E would also be 75. Again, if you take 75 plus 75 plus 30, it's going to be 180 degrees. Now in this question, they didn't really say anything about the triangles. So again, that's why you have to assume that angle D and angle E would be equivalent in size. They would be the same. This is our final example, example 7. Triangle QRS, and when you see this little wiggly line in the middle, that means similar. So if you see that on your Tasc test, it means similar. Sometimes they don't write the word similar. They use this little squiggly line, the symbol. So this is similar to triangle TUV. So these are similar. What is the measure of angle Q? So we need to find the measure of angle Q, and we have to find a measure of angle S. Now notice that angle R is given to us, it's 117 degrees. But then when you go over here to the smaller triangle, notice that they give us angle V, which is 30 degrees. Who does angle V correspond to? Does it correspond to Q or to S? So let's take a look. Now I'm going to look at T. Now angle T looks like it corresponds to angle Q, which means that angle V corresponds to S. So this is 30 degrees. This is an acute angle. An acute angle means that it's less than 90. Angle U here is what we call an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle means that it's greater than 90 degrees. So notice that the opening for U is bigger, and that corresponds to R. So we have 117, we have 30, we can find Q. And to find Q, 180 subtract 117, and let's subtract 30. So Q is 33 degrees. So let's see. A states that measure, so this little M here means measure. So measure of angle Q is 33. Yes. Measure of angle S is 30. So my answer is A. I hope this video has been helpful to everyone, and especially Jennifer, because she's the one who requested this video. Good luck on your Tasc examination. And remember, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Good luck on your Tasc examination. Have a great day.